Is this mic just for me or you?
That's for both of us.
For both of us. Is that right? That's all right. Technical.
Yeah. No, it's this front. Yeah, I changed it around. I know what I'm doing.
Okay. It has a little figure 8 thing on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it gets on both sides.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, I need to change the camera.
Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, perfect.
Look at that. Welcome back to Out Reptiles. My name is Garrett. This is Thomas.
Yes, what's up, guys? How are you doing today?
And what do we call this thing now? The SUPERDWARF show.
Super corny show, really.
Yeah. Now, before we even get started, something cool that you should be aware of that's happening in the reptile industry right now. You may notice that I am not wearing my Reach Out Reptile shirt. I'm wearing my quite old, starting to wear out, Ben Rennick Reptiles shirt. So, Ben Rennick was a really good buddy of mine. He's best known for ball pythons, did a lot of cool ball python stuff. Lesser known was that he had a ton of other really cool side projects going on. And cool ones. So he had his own line of, I guess we'll call it albinism, but it's called the Rennick Ghost. So that was really cool in reticulated pythons. And then he also had green anacondas. Now, green anacondas have never been bred with any great regularity. For as epic and well known as they are, there have been relatively little success with captive breeding. I think the one glaring exception out there today is a friend of mine, Megan Kelly. You might know her as Megaconda. So, not everybody knew about this, but Rob, we knew about this for a while. We've been going, come on, Megan, come on, Megan. Ben actually had his own line of albino anaconda. That's got to be, I mean, that's up there with an albino alligator as far as like the most epic kind of reptile you could have. You know, maybe like a solid melanistic Komodo dragon or a pied or something would be up there. But those things are nuts. You taking off?
Yeah.
Bye, Rob. Anyway, when Ben was alive, one of his goals was to actually kind of, yeah, congratulations, was to actually captive propagate green anacondas, and now it's more important than ever because you can no longer import them. So even the price of a standard green anaconda, you always hear these like crazy internet trolls, which kind of we're going to talk about some of them today, not these specific ones, but talking about why I think I should be able to buy a green anaconda for $100 because I remember that. It's a different time, you know. But Ben bred a wild-caught T-Paws albino anaconda, green anaconda, to another green anaconda and made hets. Unfortunately, he actually passed away before he got to see the fruition of that project. And I don't know the stats, just because I'm not in that side, of how many like F2 anacondas have ever been made, where someone grew up captive bred anacondas and bred them together to make F2s. Maybe this is the first time. If it's not the very first time, it's among a select few. But more importantly, they were het albinos that were bred by Ben himself. And Megan, congratulations to you. Woo. Hey, can we get our like audience applause noise in here, please?
Oh, yeah. It's
Still waiting.
Someday.
Woo! Thank you. She actually just, I guess you can't say hatched them. What do you call them when they're live birth? Birthed them?
Yeah.
Squelched them?
Released them.
She released them. I mean, not her, but her anaconda gave birth to the first captive bred T-Paws albino.
By extension, she gave birth to anacondas.
Megan, that's awesome. Congratulations. Fun little story. Megan used to come into Prehistoric Pets in another lifetime whenever I worked there. And I remember that we had bought a litter of captive bred green anacondas. And she was looking through them and picking out her very first green anacondas. So that was a long time ago. She was literally like a teenager. And she has stuck with it through then. This is like, you know, I don't know. It's pretty crazy to see her follow through with that. So few people can follow through on anything today. And so to do that and also follow through, you know, by extension on Ben's project that he started and do that, that's a big deal. That's very cool. So if you're a fan of Megaconda, you can look her up on YouTube. She's on Instagram. She's everywhere. Go tell her that Garrett said congratulations. And job well done, you know. If I had $1 million or whatever they're going to cost, I would go buy one. But, I mean, seriously, what would an albino anaconda cost? She should charge $250,000 for those. You know what I mean? That's like, you can sell them one to, yeah, I don't know. Everybody wants one of those. So, good times. But, Thomas, what do we have on for the show today?
Lots of desk noise or something.
Oh,
I'm just gonna hold on. Let's see what this like when it switches. I can hear it. Talk.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Okay. Whenever I'm gonna say something, I'm just gonna turn it.
No, don't do that. Just do the all-around one. I
Sure.
think it's the
We're
full
getting
circle.
it. Maybe it's your kids jumping and I can hear it.
Oh, probably.
I'm just hearing every time I hit the desk.
Oh.
Anyway,
All right, go
today
ahead.
we got comments. Some of them long lost, some of them less as long lost as others, but
Some are more recent.
I kind of just went through and zoomed and grabbed a bunch of random comments, and I didn't try to put them in any specific vein, and I didn't really.
You're just talking
them.
about like random comments from all our videos, potentially
Yes.
from all time.
Most of them within the last month, but
Okay.
on videos from all time, basically.
Okay, so we're gonna react to your guys' comments on our YouTube channels, and then I don't have anything pulled up here or anything like that. Are we reacting to people live? Of course, we do our super chat dance.
Oh,
thing.
we could go through some of them live too.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of them screenshotted that I'll read off to you, but you can go through some of your old videos and see if there's anyone that's commented. And
I mean, I don't know that I would be able to find them. I was saying people's comments that are watching right now.
Sure. Yeah, if you have any questions, be sure to throw them in the chat.
What's up? What's up? Gina's in the house. Happy Wednesday. Mr. Bob Evans. Zoe, Caitlin, Carolyn, Hannah, Benjamin, Status 304. Laura is even here. Hi, Laura. And Richard Bilbo. The man, the myth, the legend. Pretty sure we missed some cow requests in the chat. Bob says. That's funny. Everybody always wants to see the cow. We should probably go pull her out. She's in one of the new cages.
Try our new mobile camera.
You want to walk?
Yes.
We can walk with the camera now.
Hold on.
We are evolving. Yeah, let's go yank her out and then see.
There we go.
See what's up.
All right, we're gonna try this.
Do you need to mute that?
I just did on this end.
Yeah, of course. Rob was saying, where should he not put these dirty tubs? And I said, doesn't matter. Wherever you put them, somebody will comment. He goes, well, there's only a couple snakes that's blocking here. And one of them's the cow. Good job, Bob. I don't even know how you knew. Let's see. Cowgirl, where you at? You know, this girl's like 1.5 years old now. It's crazy. She was May last year, baby. Hi, honey. There she is. There she is. The cow. Let's take her out in the other room and check her out. She's a cutie. She's a cutie. You know what she's been doing lately? It's funny to watch these grow. They hatch out solid white, and as you can see now, she has like kind of yellow streaking around the retic pattern and getting more and more spots. But the spots she got early on have gotten very big. Lately, she's just been getting 1 million little spots. Look at her. I mean, there's hardly an inch on her that doesn't have at least the beginning of a tiny spot. And so I feel like in the next couple of sheds, she's just going to explode with spotulation. Botulism.
So I think that's something different.
Could be. All right, we're going to switch this over and we'll get to some comments.
Yes.
She can hang with us for a while. Hi, honey. Those beautiful blue eyes. She's digging those new cages.
All right.
Looks so good.
So I'm just gonna run through these. You can ignore any of them if you want, or just refuse to answer them.
Are you reading them to me?
I am reading them to you.
Okay.
All right.
Are we saying who they are, or is this like an anonymous? Just I have to imagine when people comment, like if you have these online platforms, I find the best thing to do is pretend like everybody that's saying something is an 11-year-old who's playing on their mom's iPad without their mom knowing. And that way you never think too much of yourself or, on the other side, take anything too negatively. So are we doing that, or are we going to say who they are?
The first one is John Doe, so it's...
Okay, well, yeah, there you go. John Doe.
John Doe. How long... Okay, so I have to explain, the context of the video a little bit.
Okay, which video was this?
So this is how to treat snake mites cheap and fast. We also got a super chat from Out Reptiles. Woo-hoo! How's my girl doing? Oh, wait, she's in my rack now. Let's go.
That's funny. Everyone's always like, show me my snake. And he's like, oh, wait, I got my snake. What's up? What's up? How you like her? She doing pretty good? You tell me. How's she doing? Everything you hoped and dreamed? All right. So, first comment.
This is a technical question. He's asking about mite spray. It's a DIY reptile mite spray.
Yes.
John Doe asks, how long will the solution last once mixed? How about in the original bottle? Do you have an answer to this question?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Well, I mean, so you could mix them up. We've gone a couple of months. He's talking about a DIY mite spray video. That's one of those videos that is excellent information that I think all the time, I should pull that video down because people can't follow directions. And we had a video that's very specifically do exactly this. You are mixing poison and putting it on animals, right? And people are always like, well, I found one that's $5 less, or I found this one at the store next to me, or can I just mix twice as much and really kill them? And it's like, what are you guys doing? It's in the video. I'm like, you're mixing poison, you're mixing poison, you're mixing poison. So I always want to pull it down. But no, the little bottles that you buy, they're like $20. It makes 60 spray bottles of mite spray that works very effectively. And that little bottle, I think it just, if anything, it's just going to lose efficacy over time. So I don't think it's going to hurt them or go bad or do anything like that. It'll just not work as well. So, but I'd say that in the concentrate, I've had them around for probably a year. I don't think they've had any issue. And then once you mix them up, I don't know. Normally you're going through it when you mix them up because you're mixing a new bottle of mite spray because you're battling mites. So my thing is spray everything, and get rid of them because I don't like having mites.
Woohoo! Bearded Herper. Do you produce any morphs in the 7 to 8 foot range in the $900 to $1,200 range?
7 to 8 foot, $900 to $1,200. We do. What you'd be looking at is probably, in general, you're looking at incomplete dominant mutations that have been around for a while. So a platinum, a tiger, a motley. 7 to 8 foot is super, super small. Even pure superdwarf males can get 7 feet, So you're talking about very, very small range snakes. So the thing is, we have them, but when we get them, they sell really fast. So I know we have some super small snakes coming. I don't know any of those will be the $1,200 range, but I don't know. Clutch 11 is 7 to 9 foot, I think, on the males. And we may still have a Superdwarf Motley. Don't quote me on that, but send an email, info@reachout-reptiles. You'll talk to G.I. Joe. He knows everything that we have and what's coming. But the answer is yes, you can. That can be had. Just got to grab them when they're available. Another super chat. This one's you. Go. Do it.
Oh, I'm scared when you touch that camera.
I am too. I was kind of scared myself.
What's more expensive, the thing in your left hand or the thing in your right hand?
The snake.
Definitely the thing in your left hand.
The snake for sure. But that one's yours, so I don't want to break it. All right. What's the super chat? For my hatchling that drops her food and ignores it after wrapping, is there a trick I can do other than warming it under a heat lamp? Yeah, just pick it up 10 times and keep giving it to her. Eventually they'll get it. They get distracted. You can... the big thing is, put it in a corner of the cage where there's nothing else going on. Feed her, so, after she grabs and wraps it, move it to the side, turn the lights off, leave the room. Usually what happens is they grab and they wrap, they intend to eat, and then when they're, hunting for, where should I start swallowing this thing? Oh, sorry, honey. they just get distracted because you're in the room, or they feel that boom, 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 people running through the house or whatever it is, and they get distracted. So the other thing you can try to do is get like a little plastic container that's opaque. You can't see through it, and let her grab and wrap, and try to set her, the wrap, the mouse, everything into the little container, and just loosely put the lid on so that she's in the dark with it and has nothing to do but swallow it. But usually you just pick them up and give it to them. Sometimes they are derpy and you offer it 2 or 3 times and then they figure it out. It mostly happens with young snakes. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Hopefully that helps.
Our next one, and this is one recently that a lot of people have been asking. I think we may have touched on it last week, but Erica Christian asked about the Better Python enclosure video. She asked, when do you think these will be available?
Oh man, a million people were asking me this. So they're cool cages. I do like them. We're making a couple tweaks. We're pumping out the next batch of 15. So like I said in the video, these are kind of like production prototypes. The only things that we're changing now are extremely minor, and but they're not ready for mass production. Everything's got to be perfect. The other thing that you should understand about those cages, those are not like a Reach Out Reptiles cage. We are working with a manufacturer. They're saying, we like the way you keep the reptiles. What is the perfect cage? How are we going to do it? And so they are going to be offering those. So I'll gladly refer them and stuff like that. They even talked about potentially sponsoring our channel. So we'll get some information up on some videos coming for when you can do that. We are letting you guys in kind of early on the process. We don't have 100 of those, in backlog ready to ship or anything like that. It's just coming. So keep an eye out and see what it has. I don't have any solid time frames yet. They're very quick. I expect to get this next batch within a couple of weeks. We're going to set them up and, run them, make sure everything's perfect. And then, but they still have to figure out, they'll be flat packed things that they ship to people or delivered at shows. And so, they got to figure out their packaging, distribution, all that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be a little ways yet, but I would say a matter of months, not years. If that helps, I don't know. So, yeah.
We got Brian Cusco in the chat.
Dive deep. Brian, I went back and rewatched the Lord of the Rings episode a little bit on YouTube of Searchable as Reptiles. That is adult content for those of you guys that are wondering, but that was a pretty fun episode. I rarely go back and rewatch those because I was there. So, but really fun if you just sitting in the reptile room or going on a drive or something like that. That one's going to be a good watch. You guys should check it out.
Alex Damola asks, are they a Pittsburgh-based company?
No, I mean, they're... I don't want to say too much about their business and stuff. They're Northeastern, yes. But they also plan to ship, so... but that's actually pretty good information because a lot of stuff is Western. A lot of cage producers are either down in Texas or out in California. And so an East Coast based one, you're going to save a lot of shipping, if you are in the Eastern United States, not having to travel so far. So, yeah. Hi, BB. Yeah. What's up?
Oh, another super chat. Bearded Herper. One more just for fun. If you had to pick just 2 animals out of everything you have right now to keep, and that's all you can keep, which ones and why?
2 animals? That's mean. That's super mean. Do I look like a 2-animal kind of person to you?
I was gonna say that's called self-control.
2 animals? No, nobody has 2 animals. You know what I mean? Snakes. It's like 1, 3, 37. Nobody has just 2. Ashley says all the Karampas. There you go, babe. She knows what's up. Honestly, the first thing that popped into my mind were the Karampas. But there's a lot that does go into that. Like, if you're going to breed and do that. I think I might keep... there's one little Karampa female that I'm particularly fond of. And then I also really love my pure Jampea male. So I think from sentimental reasons and stuff like that, probably those two. You guys want to see those? I can bring them.
Karen Church first says, I tried talking my husband into letting me buy a dwarf retic. He said if I wanted to buy any kind of snake, he would divorce me. So my question is, does anyone want a used husband?
Is he good at cleaning snake cages? Here,
Right,
come
here.
sit over here. I'm going to grab my two favorites so they can see.
Oh, okay, sweet. Let's see. What's that? Alright, what's up, guys? I'm here for about 35 seconds until I start getting in the swing of things, and then Garrett's going to kick me out again. Yes, Rick. Oh, wow. I just exposed the secret. Yeah, anyway, sorry, Bob. Bob's name is Bob. He doesn't have a secret identity.
Bob has a secret name.
I acknowledged it by his friend. I was like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, wait, that was his secret identity. So, yeah, Bob, you could be anyone. I could be Bob. I could just, be using my left hand to go, type in the chat as Bob. I could just be talking to myself. What's up, Dustin, man?
I don't know. These might not look like much to
Alright.
everybody else. But these are them. These are thems. So we've got... Hey, buddy, watch the tail. Don't release anyone into the desk this week, right? This is
man.
This is the pure Jamp male. And these were super brown as babies. Everyone's like, that's not a Jamp. And now they're starting to turn really silver as he gets a little bit of age. About a year and a half old now. So, pretty silvery. And then this is a little Karumpa baby. Super tiny. Big belly. Look at that. Woo! So, yeah, big old belly. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I was very surprised when we produced these Karumpas just how golden they are, because the adults are steel gray, both mom and dad. So really weird to me that these are so pretty and so golden. Those of you guys that came out to Retic Fest over the summer saw this girl. This is the one everybody had out that they were oogling and stuff like that. And then of course we've got James, the Anery Karumpa. He's awesome too. But yeah, Karumpa and Jamp. Male and female. Cuties. I just love these two animals. I mean, I think that the Jamp was my first and kind of has always been my favorite, and the Karumpa is just very significant, and it's kind of the king of super dwarves, right? Super small, super patterned, super chaotic.
Super everything.
They really are. They're super nice, really chill. They eat I don't know. It's just this is the snake that you can't ask for more. The only bad thing about them is in terms of everybody being able to experience them is that they're still really rare. There you go. There's
Bob
a
Evans
shot.
says, Retic Fest 2022 with 80 exclamation marks in all caps.
Woot.
We also got Phil Thompson says, hey, y'all, sitting in a restaurant reading the live feed and having withdrawals. Dustin Man also said this, hey, how's it going? Don't have a question, just want to send my love to reach Out Reptiles.
What's up?
And Garrett Gimbel says, to piggyback off the cage question, are they planning on making different sizes or just the 4-foot one?
Different
or
sizes.
Is it too early?
4 foot is, well, they will definitely make different sizes. The 4 foot is a proof of concept. It's the smallest size that they're going to make. So you're going to go bigger from there. Yeah. So we shall see. I don't think they have it finalized what sizes.
What is up, guys? What's up, Caitlin, Beatty? Thank you. Is it Maggie with 1G, or is it pronounced entirely differently? Thank you for the congratulations. What's up, Benjamin Tanner?
I just
Blake
noticed...
Stewart is in the chat.
Hey, what's up, Blake? I just noticed I talk about my two favorite animals, and the Jamp's name is Duran, but the Karumpa doesn't have a name, so you can put your thinking caps on now. Is that crazy to allow the audience to name literally
not James.
my favorite snake? I let you name that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is James not your favorite snake?
They said out of the two favorites. I said male
got
Jamp,
you.
female Karumpa.
Got
James'
you. Okay,
brother or
sweet.
sister.
Okay.
James is way up there, but he might be number 3. So, yeah. All right. What do we got?
All right, we got. This is on the last week's live stream. They commented.
Okay.
Michael Philippi said, "Has there been any progress getting Super Dwarves reclassified as a separate species. I'm a Florida resident, hoping to one day legally own a SUPERDWARF.
I was just going to ask if he was in Florida or New York. We get that question a lot. I have nothing to do with the reclassification of those as species. I can sit here and tell you that I don't think there's any other reptile on the planet that has as much size discrepancy between, an adult mainland and an adult, say Carrampa or whatever, that are still the same species. So I don't know, Carrampas are as different from, kind of the mainland, say, I don't know, a Sumatran or whatever. They're many times more different from those snakes than a Borneo short-tailed python from a blood python, right? And those are full species separation, the red bloods and the Borneo short-tails. So I think they probably deserve it, but I'm not a scientist. You see a lot of people, there's trolls on the internet right now pretending to be scientists. You know what I mean? With the dwarfing, superdwarf, retic thing. I think they can scare you with big words or whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. We are not scientists. I'm happy. We've given tissue samples off a lot of our pure locality animals to scientific community that is looking into that, but I have no idea. So something that people probably want to do. I mean, who wouldn't want to name a new species, right? So that'd be cool. But
all right, Maggie German wants to know, what first snake do I get my 7-year-old? What would you recommend? He wants a snake very bad, but not sure what would be a good first snake for him. He does have leopard geckos and does great with them. Corn snake.
Corn snake's a very good first one. First snake, I'm going to say that your name is Maggie German. I don't know if you're in Germany or anything, but depending on where you live, I would go with something that's native or at least close to native, because they're going to be a lot more forgiving. So if you're in North America, a lot of the North American rat snakes are great. Corn snakes, cheap, easy, beautiful. They're pretty hard to beat. The only thing I would suggest is maybe trying to find one that's already like a year old, a little bit more robust body size, not so tiny and delicate. But if you can find like a rescue corn snake, rat snake, king snake, gopher snake, something like that, and actually rescue an adult, that would be the best first pet, because it's already got all the groundwork laid and all you have to do is have a fun relationship. Super chat from Nathan C. Yeah, what's up, Nathan C?
Wow, that's
What's up, Nathan? Yes, Nathan, I plan to be at Tinley. I might show up a little late, but I'll be there at least Saturday and Sunday.
We will be there on time.
The cafe company should put your logo on the cage. I think he meant to say the cage company. Like Snake Discovery did. Yeah, I don't know. I love the cages. I'll tell you, if they build them, they're working really closely to get them to our spec. Within the parameters of, they still have to be able to make it, right? But I'm gonna rock them out. I'm gonna talk about it. You guys know me. If someone's doing a good job, I don't know, we're wearing shirts and congratulating Megan, that doesn't benefit us at all. We just want to help people in the hobby and expand them. So, anything that we can do for that is great. So yeah, I'll definitely promote them, rock them, do all that kind of stuff. If they're good, they're good. If they stink, they stink. So for sure. So
let's see. Power Move MJ is unhappy that we skipped his question, but he has been asking, can you guys do a video on prices and why it costs that price and how big do they grow? I feel like we have some videos that we could point them to.
What is the question?
Can you guys do a video on prices and why it costs that much?
Yes.
And how big do they grow?
You can link it. It's called How Much Does a Dwarf or Super Dwarf Cost? Basically, the smaller they are, that means you have more of those rare island localities in there. They're going to be more expensive. So you're talking about a snake that at the smallest, the very smallest retics grow, say 5 to 7 feet long. at the very, very small. We're talking about like extremely small snakes. And then they go upwards from there. So a 5-foot retic is only a little bit bigger than a corn snake. If you're getting that same line and, you know what I mean, it gets 7 feet or something, you're getting closer to like a ball python size. And then you're crossing a snake like that to the biggest snake on the planet. So you can get sizes all in between. If you go with a breeder that knows their bloodlines and they've actually like raised them up in captivity and reproduced them, they can get you a pretty close estimate on what you're getting into. If you want a general price range, I mean, I think the cheapest snake we sold this year was probably $350, and the most expensive was $60,000. So
which video
big size range.
did you have in mind again?
It's called How Much Does a Super Dwarf Cost? It's a little tiny. It's actually a Anery Jamp Partho girl sitting on a pile of money. And we actually scrolled a whole price list. Now that's an older video, so those particular animals may not be for sale, but we went and put a whole price list up and stuff like that. If you want to know actual prices, you have to email info@reachout.reptiles. And we love interacting with you guys. If you want to ask all your questions on here, like in future things, every single time, this goes for all of you guys, every single time we end one of these videos, we put up a community post on our YouTube channel. Every single time I intend for that to happen, sometimes Thomas follows through and does a good job.
Oh. Sometimes it's like, oh, next week's concept. Like last week, I was like, okay, we have so many questions that have gone unanswered.
Fair enough. Find one of the community posts where we ask for questions and put your comments there. Those are the ones that we go off of. Yeah. Because we can't catch every single question. I don't even look at them. We're just going through the show. So we will stop with a super chat and make ourselves look silly and
personal
doing all that
on
stuff.
Anybody.
Yep.
Let's see.
All right. Yeah. What's
Rachel Bentley in the chat asked any advice on feeding before or after moving. We're relocating to about 25 minutes away. I have 4 who are all due to eat. Planning on moving them tomorrow. Should I wait to feed them?
Yeah, if you're going to move them tomorrow, don't feed them today. Yeah, you want them all digested. So, I mean, with snakes, you're not going to hurt them if you don't feed them for a week or whatever. So, like with our animals, before we ship, we ship on Tuesday and Wednesday every week. We stop feeding them. No one will get fed any later than the Friday before. So that way they're getting, and they're not getting giant meals that Friday. So they have a chance to digest everything, and at least get it out of their stomach and down into their bowels before you move them. Yeah. You got any more comments for me? I feel like we haven't done any of these reactionary comments.
All right. Well, I was gonna search for some, but there's some deep diving. That's some like deep sea water crush depth level comments.
Yeah.
All right, here's an interesting one though. Samantha Rupert 1 week ago said not impossible at all to come across an albino superdwarf, just hasn't been found. Just keep breeding superdwarfs and you'll probably pop out recessives. Just give it another 50 years. Not making fun of you, truly love your channel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it is probably more accurate. I mean, nothing's impossible. But if you take the same genetic animals that have been in one place for a very long time with a limited gene pool and not produced anything, to have it pop out, well, I mean, ask yourself this. We have bred many, many, many mainland reticulated pythons across the world, in every country, by the tens of thousands. And the only albinos can be traced back to original imported albinos that were found in the wild. So the likelihood of popping up your new strain of albino in superdwarfs, I would say, is about the same as the likelihood of popping it up in mainlands. And the thing is, for every one pure superdwarf produced, I think there's thousands, if not tens of thousands, of mainlands being produced, and it's never happened with mainlands. So highly, highly, highly unlikely that that would happen. Impossible? No, of course not. And will you find more mutations, I mean, sure. Anerythristic is in superdwarves, and that's a recessive mutation that, when we were first naming them, I worked with Tim O'Reilly and Jay Brewer over at Prehistoric Pets, and we started to notice this goes beyond locality influence. This is a recessive genetic trait, and we kind of made up the term anerythristic to sort of describe, that's a common term used in other species, to sort of describe the look we were seeing for whatever this morph was. And back then, boy, there were a lot of people, just like I was saying, people trolling today, they were trolling back then, and they're like, that's a marketing scam, and that's not a new mutation, what are the odds that it would pop up? But it did pop up. There is that one recessive mutation that happens there, and possibly you could find other mutations, but I think if you did, they would be more like akin to things that we already have that we're just not really looking at. Like when I was a kid, if somebody imported an Enchi ball python, they would call that a normal. Now we're saying it's a morph, and I'm not discrediting Enchis. I think they are a morph. I'm just saying, is there an Enchi retic? If there was, it's probably chilling right in our collection, and we don't even know because we're not looking for it. So I think it's pretty much impossible to pop out an albino. Now, every time I breed a new locality that's never been bred in captivity or from new wild caughts, do you dream of hatching something like that? Yeah. Has it ever happened? No. So, highly, highly, highly unlikely.
All right.
It's far more likely that you bought a misrepresented superdwarf that's a mainland cross with het albino in it. If I popped out albinos in any of my pure localities, I would say, who scammed me? How did I get albinos? I wouldn't say, oh my goodness, look,
This one's also a little bit semi-controversial.
Do it. Bring it.
It's real short. Desiree Rodriguez commented, why do people like retics? With lots of question marks and an exclamation point. I prefer boas.
Why do people like retics? You prefer both? Have they... My first question would be, have you had both? I mean, there are certainly people who prefer boas. Most of them haven't had retics. Or maybe they had like a bad experience with an animal. But I don't know. There's certainly nothing wrong with boas. Congratulations, you like boas. I think people prefer retics because they are more interested in what you are doing as a human. Like, the way I would put it is like this. Boas are like cats. Very slow, far less active cats. And retics are like dogs. So, are there people that prefer cats? Like there's just this little wild animal that lives with you and tolerates you? Yeah. Are there people that like dogs where you're like, this is man's best friend? Sure. And that's why dogs are better. Next question.
So this is a statement, but I'd be curious to see a reaction to it. I don't know how to pronounce her last name because it has fancy symbols in it. But their first name is Lars, and they're commenting on the Jonathan Stappa's Reptile Collection Tour. Do you remember?
Oh yeah. Dude, his stuff's crazy. I gotta get down there again. I need an update.
Sick.
Yeah.
But they said, wow, that enclosure is like staying in a hospital room for your entire life. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure which enclosure they're talking about. I mean, some of the stuff, like if you're looking at, I can't imagine that anybody would have not seen somebody keep things, in like a more clinical way or whatever the case is. But you kind of have to think about it. Why would, and I don't know what cage he was talking about, because he had like some big old decked out cages and stuff like that. I know I took him a little retic that was smaller than that cow, and he put it in like a 6 by 2 by 3 foot cage or something huge. So I don't think it would be that. But there's a reason hospitals are the way they are. They're keeping them clean and keeping people healthy, and you're not supposed to live in a hospital. You're supposed to be there and be cleaned and then move out and get something else. And that's why, we as breeders, like, we set our babies up in fairly clinical situations, and we get them eating, and we make sure they're healthy and they don't have any germs. We want to see everything that comes in, everything that goes out, make sure that everything's working for you, and then we send them out to you guys to take care of them the absolute best that you can. I don't recommend you keep a retic in a tub its whole life. Maybe that makes people angry and probably super even hypocritical, because we have a lot of snakes in tubs over there and stuff. But some of it is because, we're trying to open up a new segment of the industry, right? Now, retics, I wouldn't say is new, but I think 99.99% of people would have never said that it's okay to keep like a big mainland retic in a little tub drawer type cage. Anyone that's thought about that is not happy with it. The SUPERDWARFs being a different size range, a lot of them can fit in, like, they can live fairly happy lives in some of the tubs made for much larger species. The thing I think those cages are lacking is height, so even if you had the biggest tub that's on the market, which I believe is like 8 foot by 3.5 feet, or 3 foot or by 8 foot or something like that, that's a good footprint. It just needs height. So, I don't know. I think it depends on what it is. You can go the dirt don't hurt route, and if your snake gets mites, you can put other bugs in there that'll eat the mites off of them and keep them to a minimum. Or you can say, you know what, I'm a breeder, I want to make sure that I ship snakes out with 0 mites, and so I'm going to use a chemical that would disallow bioactive to make sure that you get a healthy animal. And if you never get those mites in from me and you get one snake and you want to set it up cool, you should be good to go. But that's something that we do. We set our babies up. He sets his stuff up so that he can stay on top of a healthy collection. On the other hand, you can still give them enrichment. You don't have to give, like, if you put a big piece of wood, like, I don't know, check out this little cage. You want to show us this one? Just look at this cage right here. This is in no means clinical, and, it needs a little bit of help. But you can see we have actual wood in there, driftwood, the coconut substrate, and all that kind of stuff. There's hides, fake rock hides. There's real biological material, fake stuff, and everything like that. That cage would be very, very difficult to clean, if we needed to deep clean that. So we don't have a lot of cages. In fact, that one needs to be pulled out and cleaned even now. But that stuff makes those things really difficult. However, you can set a cage thing just like that with, instead of a porous piece of wood that harbors bacteria, why can't you use, like PVC branches? They have all kinds of cool 3D printed perch options now. So, I don't know. It's kind of like if you go to the pet store and you set up your aquarium, they have all those like fake resin cast aquarium safe things that look good and are easy to clean. Whereas when you get into a lot of natural materials, it can be difficult. So, yeah, I don't know. And one thing I would say, too, just for commenters, if you see me take a tour of someone's house, or you see anybody do their, like, reptile room tour or whatever, I don't know that you know the context of, will that snake live there its whole life? Just because you saw it there and it was in a video one time doesn't mean that that's its entire existence. These snakes are supposed to get 6 meals and head out with the baby snakes that we have here. So that's their existence. Jonathan had a bunch of new animals coming in, and so he had all kinds of different quarantine situations, and that's where you want to be clinical. So I don't know. Probably don't judge and take things out of context. Probably be better off not to take things out of context and not judge. I don't know.
All right. On a little
rant
bit more. I mean, that's what we're here for. We wanted to go through some comments and see what some people are saying.
See which ones trip me up.
Yeah, that's what you can only hope. Tammy Jones asks one of our favorite questions of all time: do you ship to the UK?
Do we ship to the UK? No, we don't ship to the UK currently. I'll ship anywhere in the US. It's probably not cost effective. Most people that want to know that probably don't feel like spending $1,500 in shipping and permit, and you got to add, I think is it 10 or 20% VAT on top now for the UK if you're buying an export product. So you add a lot of money there. So if you want to take care of all that kind of stuff and you can arrange an import broker for yourself, let's say that's maybe they're based in wherever USA. I'll ship to their address in wherever USA, and you can take them over there. It's possible to get animals there. We do have animals get exported with customers that are really wanting them. So, yeah, it's possible. Much more possible than finding a pure locality Superdwarf albino, but not easy. What we'd have to do is set up a thing where we do like 1-2 shipments a year in large numbers and split the cost between customers, and that takes a lot to coordinate. So we're not there yet. Plus, we were having a hard time staying on top of even the U.S. market for these guys. We're really just trying to get our collection facility, staff, everything ironed out. This is very much a work in progress and something we are trying to build. And so we want to build it right for the future. And once we're there and we're established, those kind of opportunities will open up a lot easier than right now. Next question. Boom. Wait, I saw one. Samantha says, question from the last stream, too late to put on the community post. What's my opinion on breeding snakes from different subspecies? For instance, the Pituophis annectens times affinis. I mean, it's okay. Like, if we do it. So I can't say I don't like it. You know, the Jampea I showed you is Malaea-Python reticulatus jampaeanus. And then any morph I have in there that has a little percentage of jamp in it is from a different subspecies. So you can do it. I think you just have to figure out why. You know, like, if we're doing that, it's because we're trying to take the traits of the jamp and typically add them to some kind of mutation that doesn't exist in the Jampea, and then we breed that mutation back towards the Jampea, because we're not going to probably find an albino Jampea. So if we want one, it's going to take many generations of getting closer and closer and closer. If you're taking two wild types, like, it would be 1,000 times less interesting to me to take like a normal locality cross mainland and breed it to a pure Jampea and just make all normals. Literally the only clutch we've ever done like that, which again was a subspecies cross, was our Bantang Sulawesi mainland retic to a she was already a mutt of localities, but a Superdwarf pure female. And again, what we were trying to do, that was such a vividly, wildly different looking retic. We wanted to shrink that look down. So if you have a purpose to it, great. The reason why I'm not usually a fan, and I'm not familiar with the exact cross that you're talking about, but usually what happens is the separate species are more beautiful and desirable and natural on their own than the integrate or hybrid would be. So, you know, like, you kind of get a less than. It's all over the industry. I mean, captive breeding over wild collecting for the pet trade, better every time. You know, I would rather have subspecies crosses that are captive bred and living in captivity than everyone running out and collecting everything from the wild and depleting, you know, the populations out there and then acting like they did the world a favor. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you have to take it on a case by case. I'm not against hybrids or the domestication of anything in any way, shape, or form. We do it all the time. When we keep stuff pure, it has to stay pure, you know? So that's the thing, is just don't get the two sides crossed. You don't want to take a mutt, breed it into a pure, and sell the babies as pures. That's what happens at least a lot of times in the Superdwarf side of things. Go. Next question.
All right, Reptile Girl asked or commented, I have an Ultramel ball python I was wanting to breed. What should I put him with to get a cool pattern?
An Ultramel ball python to get a cool pattern?
We did say live answering all your morph questions and more. We didn't specify.
Are you laughing because they're asking me ball python questions?
Yes.
We do get a lot of, you wouldn't see this, but like in emails, like, hey, what's your smallest Superdwarf that's available for X amount of money? Maybe say $500. And then we tell them what it is. And they're like, oh, that's pretty big. Can I get a ball python instead? And I always say yes. And they're like, what do you have? And I say, nothing. I don't breed ball pythons. I feel like the industry feels like you have to start with ball pythons and move to other things. I've never bred ball pythons. Never. I owned one pied from Rennick because I said I would one day because I think they're beautiful. So I bought one and I sold it like 6 months later because it was pretty boring. and I needed to pay my taxes that year. And then I when I was a child, I bought, I think it was 100 imported babies for $400, and then I sold them to all my friends for, I paid what, $4 each, so I charged them all $25 each and sold them all. That's the extent of my, ball python thing. What's a cool pattern? There's a lot of cool patterns. I don't know. I'm partial to pinstripe anything, especially the stuff that opens up the pinstripes, like Mojave. Ultramel. The only thing I would say is this: if you're getting into it, Ultramel's recessive. So buy the pattern you think is cool that's a het Ultramel. Don't be like, oh, you know what I like? Genetic stripe. Let's breed that to my Ultramel. You're gonna make a bunch of normals, and just like I was kind of talking about, odds are you're probably not gonna follow through and never see that cool pattern in Ultramel. So get an incomplete dominant mutation that's het for Ultramel. Breed them. Have fun the whole time. That's what I would say. Why do people ask me ball python questions? I don't know. I feel like in order to find me with your question, if you're running around, I got my ball python question, and somehow land on me, would be like being in a birthday party room full of balloons and, shooting an arrow and accidentally hitting, putting out the candle on the cake or something. There's so many cool ball python people around, and I'm not them. So, yeah, I don't know. You look tired, Thomas.
I know. I'm slowly fading.
Is this show putting you to sleep? Let's do something.
Well, we
bring it.
Yeah, let's name a snake. It's about that time.
Is it really?
Well, we have
Holy
about
smokes.
7 minutes. This is going by quick.
All right. Hold on. I want to get Lauren's real quick. I just found this.
Wait. Snake Lady 21 asked, "How old are you?" 3 weeks ago. How old are you, Garrett? If you can tell, if you know.
1983 May. I always have to do the math.
38.
38. You've told me that before. I'm 38 years old. 3 weeks ago, I was 3 weeks younger.
Yes.
Is it okay to go from ball pythons to superdwarfs as long as you do your research? Heck yeah, why not? It's okay to do whatever you want in life if you do it responsibly. Lauren Walker, would you suggest someone to start breeding with a different species, or if they do their homework, is it reasonable to start with dwarf and superdwarf retics? I actually think if you are going to breed, you want to ask the question of why are you breeding first. If you're breeding to do something that's just a fun experience for you, breed what you like. If you're going to try to make money at breeding, that's a much, much larger question. I personally feel that superdwarves are amazing for that. I think we've proven that over the years in a very relatively short period of time. I've made many times more money annually breeding the superdwarves than I ever did in corporate jobs. So I think they're a great one for that. Should you get a superdwarf having never had a reptile and plan on breeding it? I'd say they're kind of an intermittent species. Yeah, you could take them on if you were responsible and you knew what you were doing. You set them up good from the beginning. They're not particularly difficult to breed, but there's so much controversy on care that I feel like if you're listening to someone tell you about how to feed something or how to house something or how to do whatever, you want to find the person who has had the most success, whose philosophies on life in general meet yours the best. So if you're going to listen to if I tell you how you should be feeding a superdwarf retic, and then someone else tells you something different and you don't see them breeding 40 clutches of dwarf and superdwarf retics every year, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why you would listen to that person instead. Maybe they're louder. I find that hard to believe.
That's pretty tough. Yeah,
I'm pretty loud. Let's go name a snake. You
All
ready? We're going on this mic.
Yes. So you're gonna go take this, and I'm gonna just yell names. Okay.
What?
Hold on.
We're going to do what now? Oh,
Because I have to read them. Hold on. I have to unmute this.
Wow. Look at this guy. All right. Let's get this whole thing. Size of this
Hello.
cord that we're dragging here across the room.
Yep. You
For
can set it up right.
Hold on. We got it right there.
You got more. You got like another foot and a half.
It's a little dark and moody, but I think we're good.
I can change the settings.
We're good.
No, man. There's
All right.
Easy fix.
Right out of the gate, I told you I would do it. One of my top 2 favorites is this female Karompa. It's James's sister, and look at, especially when she's got a
Pull
big
this
belly. Check out the side. Oh, give me some focus. There it is. Look at the side of those side rosettes. Funky, chaotic. The way a Carrampa should be. And that's the boring part of her. Carrampas are always worst in the middle. The tail. Where it's at. Hold on. Let me get some rennet in the screen here so that we can... There we go. Crazy pattern. Million saddles. I think this is the prettiest Carrampa that we have produced completely. You know, like in all time. Right? So.
Alright, you ready for some names?
Let's do it.
Oh, excuse me.
It's a girl.
Okay, it's a girl, guys, so make sure they're girlish oriented. Or whatever you want. Okay, we have...
There she is.
Janet, Prada, Queen, Kitty, Rory, Florida, Rosie, Ariel.
Florida? Like, rename them and send them to
Ashley.
Florida. Did Ash say Ashley?
Somebody just said Ashley. Misty, Krakatoa, Taffy, Nutmeg, Queen. Come on, guys. Darling, Athena. We already kind of have Athena. Prada again.
Everybody.
Goes on that fashion.
Everybody wants... Yeah, I think Prada was out there last week. I'm sure it was the same person.
Galaxy,
I like my name.
Freya, Noodle, April, Pebbles. We already have Pebbles. Helena, Snaky Poo.
Snaky poo.
Come on, guys.
We need some help. I don't know. This is favorite snake, guys. These are good names, but this has got to be a higher standard, right?
Rory again. Listen, we read Lila. Jemmy. Someone said Gucci. Big fat worm-like thing. Nova. Andromeda. Diamond. Eva. Phaedra. Cleopatra. Matilda. I don't mind Matilda.
I don't know if that's like a peak. That is a good name. I think we actually have a... Yeah,
Not
NFA.
for sale, one word. Galaxy, Roma, Callisto.
Not for sale?
Yeah.
One word?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
All right, that's what we'll do.
You want to know who it was?
Who was it?
Bob Evans.
Nice. Good job. Bob.
What's that?
Not for sale.
Yup.
All right, send us an email to info@reachoutreptiles.com and let us know that you named Not for Sale, and we will do it. Okay, we need one more. I need a green tape and a pen. I don't think I'll forget that. But who's missing a name? Who's missing a name over here? Boy, we got green tape on so many. You guys are doing really good with all this stuff. That's a blah, blah, blah. He's named. All right. This girl's here. Let's name this girl. She almost got sold. Oh, she just shed. Hey, baby. This is a coming up on 2 years old, year and a half old, dwarf and superdwarf female. She's a purple albino, got a little bit of dry shed and a sunfire. She's 100% het snow. She was also siblings to the very first Snow Chino. So, what are we going to name this girl?
Alright, we'll give him a second to get some momentum on the names.
Okay. Yeah, bring it. Go ahead, throw it out there.
First one
If we name it, you send us an email. We'll send you back an email picture with the snake and the name for you. Go ahead.
Alright, we got Willow, Sunny Delight, Dolly Parton, Fluffy, Where's the Tape? Mine, Over Easy, Solar, Almost Sold, Daffodil, Canada, Winter, White Mocha, Sunday with an A, Sunfire, man, everybody's just saying morphs, Sunshine,
I kind of like Over Easy. It makes her sound like, she's going to breed a lot, too.
Alright, congratulations, Melissa Leandro.
All right. There we go. Very cool. So, yeah, shoot us an email, info@reachoutreptiles.com. We will gladly send you a picture of the snake that you guys named, and then anytime you ever come out to Reach Out Reptiles, you can be like, hey, I named that one. So the names will stick. We'll put them on the tape. That's their names. we got over easy and not for sale. So when everyone says, this is why I like that one, even though it's not exactly a name. Someone goes, hey, how much is that one? Or what's that one's name? I can just say, not for sale. Like immediately and right out of the gate. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Are we jumping to the breeder level Patreon or all Patreon?
I believe it's breeder level.
Don't quote him on that.
Check.
We'll catch you guys.